Well, here's a look at some of Rory McIlroy's recent results at the PGA Championship. Of course, he also won this tournament back in 2012 and 2014. Okay, for much more on Rory, let's bring Mark Zecchino and Bob Weeks into the conversation. Bob, starting with you, McIlroy's had an outstanding season. How high are your expectations for McIlroy this week?
Well, I think Rory is certainly the talk of this tournament so far, coming off not only just the Masters win, but as you sort of alluded to before, he's a 3-win season so far with big wins. Players Championship is sort of a 3/4 of a major, and then there's the marquee event at Pebble Beach. So he's played well throughout the entire season. It's easy just to think about the Masters because that was, of course, that one that he wanted to get off his back. Now that he's got that done, is the question, will he play with more freedom? Will he be more focused? How will he be dialed in? Does he want to try and, of course, go for the 4 in 1 year? That's a little bit probably impossible or next to impossible, but I think there's a lot of focus on Rory. And Rory, I don't think, feels as much pressure as he might have coming into a major now that he's got that Masters win and ended not only the chase for the career Grand Slam, but also kind of that drought of not winning a major championship.
So, Mark, Bob is very high on Rory McIlroy this week. And of course, this is his first start in a major championship since what went down at the Masters last month. Just how much freedom do you think Rory McIlroy is going to have this week?
I think he's going to be playing with a ton of freedom, almost in perpetuity. Not to say that he doesn't want to win majors. Obviously, he wants to continue to be one of the best players in the world, continue to add to his legacy, which I think, he's going to be focused on moving forward. But now that monkey off the back, now with the career Grand Slam behind him, not needing to answer any of these questions anymore, leading the FedEx Cup, multiple wins this year, 3 big wins. Like, let's not skip over the fact that he won AT&T and the Players Championship as well. I mean, he's having a monster season and heading to a venue that he absolutely loves, that he has great success at. I think, since the Masters, he had some fun with Shane Lowry, knocking a little bit of the rust off at the Zurich, and last week at the Truist, again, just trying to get those juices going. This week, all of a sudden, I think the focus meter goes up against Scully, but it goes up without the pressure that previously comes with the focus meter. And that could be a scary recipe for the rest of the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I think Rory McIlroy is going to be a very dangerous man this week because of that freedom and because, Mark, of the forecast, because we're supposed to be getting a lot of rain. This might be a bit of a slog out there, and strokes gained off the tee is going to be critical. You know who's leading the PGA Tour in strokes gained off the tee this season? Rory McIlroy. Given the forecast that we presume is coming, how much will this benefit guys like Rory McIlroy?
I think strokes gained off the tee is a huge category. The Masters, I was sounding like a broken record. I said, strokes gained approach the green, strokes gained approach the green. And throughout the weekend on our panel at Augusta, I suggested that Bryson DeChambeau cannot win this golf tournament. And at the time, he was right there to win the whole thing. And I said, you cannot play Augusta with hitting the golf ball not hole high with your irons and struggling with distance control and not your iron game on point and walk out and win the Masters. Eventually, it catches up with you. We saw that from Bryson. We saw it on Sunday. I believe this week at Quail Hollow, the category, the statistic that we should be looking at, who can dominate a golf course, strokes gained off the tee. When you think about that, you must immediately go to Rory McIlroy, the most dominant driver of the golf ball the last 15 years on the PGA Tour. And then the fact that we're going to dump a bunch of moisture on this golf course could be soaking wet. We've seen him win majors by 8 shots when it's like, a sloppy fest of just mud and saturated golf courses. Right now, this is truly playing in Rory McIlroy's hands. And again, he's won here 4 times. How much more evidence do you need to think Rory's the favorite this week?
Yeah, I'm glad he mentioned the 4 times he's won at Quail Hollow. He's coming in brimming with confidence. I think we're both expecting big things from Rory McIlroy this week at the PGA Championship.